It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
This next question is from Jordan. And Jordan said, where is saving for items like vacation or new appliances in the FOO? I think one of the things that happens is someone does the FOO course, learn.moneyguy.com. They go through the FOO course and think, all right, I got to do this. I got to do 25%. And it's good. We want you to be motivated in that way. But you also have to live life. There are also decisions you're going to have to make all along the way that, you know, if your washing machine goes out, you might have to replace it. If something happens, you might have to replace. If your kids are getting older and you really want to create memories, you might have to deviate from that 25%. So your goal should be to get to 25% as quickly as you can, stay at 25% for as long as you can, but don't get super stressed out if you have to pull away from that for things that actually make sense to pull away from it, like replacing an appliance or doing something to create memories. That doesn't mean every budgetary cycle or every year you say, oh, well, I only saved 10% this year, but man, we really want to upgrade the car, or man, we really want to do that extra vacation, or man, we really want to replace the TV, or whatever the thing is. Our ideal would be, you know, if you make 100% of your income and you give a certain percentage of it away and you pay a certain percentage of it in taxes and you save 25%, hopefully what's left over, that could work into your budget where you're able to do housing and pay for to keep the lights on and put food on the table and build memories. Hopefully that's a budgetary line item that doesn't have to pull away from your 25%. But if it does, that's okay. Get through it and figure out how to get back to the 25%. Anything you'd add on top of that?
So first, a lot to unpack there. I look at vacation and appliances, both important but completely different in the fact that you got to have an appliance, like I'm thinking stovetop, refrigerator to eat.
Yep.
So, you know, that's going to happen. You got to that's a priority. That's part of why you have emergency reserves is part of the financial order of operations. Vacation now, that's one that's still priceless, still very important. But there's a big difference between a vacation that's paid for with a credit card and you creating a vacation that's a scaled down version like I grew up with, where your parents went and watched timeshare presentations. So it was a free vacation. So, I mean, there's different ways to do that. But I do want you, but here's the point that I think Bo is getting at now that I've kind of talked about the difference between those two things, is that there are going to be ebbs and flows with your walk with the financial order of operations. And I understand that you will have times in your life that you're not going to be saving 20 to 25% and investing that for your army of dollars because life happens. I've done it myself when I started my first company in 2002. I wasn't saving 20, 25%. I was doing everything in the world just to make sure my wife didn't realize that we were, you know, on a struggle bus until I got this company to start growing. But here's why I still think these rules are important. I mean, I grew up where I was more worried about disappointing or upsetting my father than I was of the police or anything else, because there was a guilt. There was always a fear of disappointment. I want the financial order of operations in that 20-25% to be something that's in the back of your mind, so that when you go through that ebb and flow of life sometimes pulls you away from, because you need to do important things like replace appliances and other things that keeps you from investing like you should. I need you to think about Bo and Brian sitting there with their arms crossed going, I don't know if I'd have done it that way, because that will, if you can do that in a healthy way, it's more likely to keep you honest with yourself to figure out what's a want versus a need. Because if you can separate out what is extra versus what's a necessity, I think you'll be much quicker to get back on the right track. And that guilt and that disappointment factor that's hanging over you will do a lot to keep you on the straight path of making good financial decisions. And that's because, look, we're not all going to be perfect on this. And that's what no rule is going, no matter whose system you're working off of, it's not going to be absolute. It's not going to be perfect. So I want to give you that freedom and flexibility. But, man, you better be thinking about, In the background, I'm missing out on time, which is a very valuable thing. What could each dollar that I'm not doing this, what could it become? And what are Brian and Bogo think if they found out when I do that studio tour? All those things will help keep you on the right path with your financial decision making.